another camera going so I can get that up onto the YouTube channel there. So for this camera, if I'm looking up there, I'm looking at live, but if I show some stuff to this camera, that's what's happening. K-Dub, what up? Can you hear the music okay, Kyle? It's up loud right now. Little Lean On Me, little Bill Withers. Lean on me when I'm not strong. Cool, thank you. You can hear me okay, yeah? Perfect, alright. Carry on. R.I.P. Bill Withers and R.I.P. John Prine. I got a couple of their albums each. And I got a couple others I'll mention. Amanda, what up? Let a couple more people jump on in a second. I'm going to go ahead and get my beer poured. This week I'm drinking Chapman Crafted's Aries. Their Zodiac series. It started a year ago with Aries, so this is the new year for them. I don't know much about the Zodiac signs too much. I'm a Libra myself. On the cusp of Virgo and Libra. I think Virgo's beforehand. So they got a new can design. Also, it's tonight I would have been at Chapman Crafted actually, so I thought it also appropriate. This would be my normal Wednesday night there. So cheers to the homies at Chapman. I did have this a couple days ago, one of these a couple days ago. Bye, Lily. My daughter's gonna go have story time right now with her TK teacher on Google Hangouts, so she's got her own party to get to. Ooh, smells like pineapple juice, mango. Those are the main flavors I pick up out of this. I'm just gonna leave this right here. Hey, couple more people jumping on. This smells delicious. If you're just getting on right now, I just poured Chapman Crafted's Aries, their Hazy Zodiac series, and this is what's going to be guiding my piece tonight. If it's your first time jumping on, I started 2 weeks ago. I made this bad boy right here. It was based off of this Buddha Hands Handyman Farmhouse Saison with Buddha Hand Zest. So I found these citrus ads, and I wanted to make sure that the fingers came off, and it reminded me of a summer day. So there's the sunshine. Made out of snack. It says goldfish. Made out of snack boxes and ads and duct tape and staples. That's what I made the first week. And then what I made last week was based off of Asylum's Monsters We Breed, a dank West Coast IPA. Reminded me of times getting into craft beer and really getting into West Coast IPAs. And I started going to a festival in Mammoth 13 years straight. And this year is a 25th anniversary, and they just announced today that it's going to be postponed till next year, unfortunately. But that's what spawned this piece. Out and about, and it's actually, I'm going to get closer, it's actually meant to be viewed from all four sides. So I got something going on everywhere. I posted about it. But it's also, because of the dankness of the IPA and the hops, it also reminded me a little bit of that weed character. I'm going to show this camera over here. This camera over here is going to be posting to my YouTube channel. You may not see my eyes because I just figured it out right now. But anyway, that's where that piece went. Got googly eyes, bunch of ads, and everything I've been doing has basically been on cardboard. And that's what I'll be doing today. Piece of cardboard. Shit. So, now onto this beer right here. If you get yourself a beverage, if you're just jumping on right now. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Get yourself something to write with. If you got something you got to work on. Like I said, I've been using cardboard. I got a bunch of it, especially as we're ordering stuff in. Even more coming, so it makes it nice and easy. This one, I happen to see the numbers on there. It says 2143, so I moved the arrow over the one, so it says, or it reads 1, 2, 3, and 2 to 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre are at the door. You guys hear the music okay? Things should be alright right now. A playlist tonight features two like legends that just passed away, Bill Withers and John Prine. They do have a similarity in sort of the writing of what they feel and what's going on, and I thought it actually still would work pretty well. And then I took a couple of their first albums and put them in a playlist, and then I picked two bands that kind of parallel them now. Duran Jones and the Indications, and then I chose Delta Spirit. I figured that both of those bands kind of embody the spirits of those other two artists, and so R.I.P. to them, but we're going to have a little bit of fun, hopefully not too much sadness going on with their memories, but that's what's going to be driving some of the musical inspo for this evening. Get yourself a Sharpie if you're just getting on right now. Get yourself a beverage or something to describe, even if it's not a beverage, something you can do something sensory with. So if you have even an object or something on your table, you're welcome to do that. But I happen to know a little bit more about beer and care more about this beverage than most. And I'm starting with Aries from Chapman Crafted. Their Zodiac Series Hazy IPA. I'm showing this camera too. We start with observation, so we're looking at it and see what it looks like, describe what that looks like, get it in a consistent light source is what I normally have you do. And I want you guys to physically write. There is rhyme and reason, so if you are familiar with my normal paintish parties, this is how we start normally. Get your mind going, thinking descriptively, thinking creatively, thinking experientially. And so if this is able to jump in, Randy, what up? Cheers. One of the co-founders of Chapman just jumped on, and I'm just calling him out right now, so he's probably going to get embarrassed and jump off. Hi, Randy. Thumbs up. Thanks. Cheers. We're just about getting started right now. Pour yourself a beer. So we start looking at it. What does it look like? Right now, this is super hazy, super cloudy. You can't see through it. I'm still going to write right directly on here, so it is... I'm going to write hazy AF because I think that's what the cool kids say. It's cloudy. I can't see through it. Not, or I can say opaque. That's visually. It's also to get the color in there too. This is pretty golden. Like straw to gold, not gold to amber. So we'll say gold. Straw golden color. So that's what it would look like. And as soon as I open the can, we get the aroma for sure. It smells like pineapple and mango. That's what it smells like. That's probably those Galaxy hops in there. It's got Galaxy, Simcoe, and Citra, and I'm still figuring out what all of those different hops smell like and taste like and commit to memory. But and it tastes like ripe mango. That's what it mostly tastes like to me, is mango. It's got a little bit of bitterness on the back end. That might be from the Simcoe. So it's pineapple. Normally I give you guys a sheet and it has some words on it that you can kind of like a word bank. So describe it how you will. Pineapple, I get mango out of this. That's the primary aroma. And again, if it looks like beer, smells like beer, I say it all the time, but you're not wrong. That's still right. Describe it how you wish. But I get mango mostly. Mostly mango on the nose. And then taste-wise, that also tastes like mango, or tastes like pineapple mango, and a little bitter on the back. Then I usually ask you about mouthfeel. How's it feel in your mouth? That is is part of the beer experience. Certain beers are supposed to be really, really crisp and dry. Some beers are supposed to be really, really full-bodied and coating and viscous. Swirl it around. Hazies in particular have particles. It's not filtered, so there's pith in there. There's pieces. There's particles. It's meant to be a full-bodied, like a Hefeweizen's supposed to be. And so it still may taste because the flavors are still refreshing. It's not usually super crisp. It's usually on the full body side. And this one definitely coats my mouth nice. Coats nicely. And it's full for sure. There are some that might just have a clarifying agent where it still feels a little thin. This one feels a little bit more full than some other hazies you might get, or if it just has everything didn't filter out. But from what I've gathered, this is what it's supposed to feel like. All right, and then I try to bring memories involved. So the last thing we end up doing is not an official way to drink or rate beer, but to actually see what this beer what journey and down your memory lane it might take you. So when I drink beer, it reminds me of the times I drank beer, who I was with, what we did, jokes we came up with. I say the same lines most of the time. But this particular beer, I'm still having a hard time because I'm learning through hops. But a lot of hazies do taste similar to other hazies. I have not picked that up. Just as certain West Coast taste similar. So if I had them side by side, I might be able to pick out some flavor discernment. But if I just remembered the last hazy I drank, I'm sure it probably tasted similar to this one in my memory. But hazies are a somewhat relatively new thing, and coming from East Coast, didn't make out to West Coast a couple years ago, and the craze is, I don't know if it's as big as it was a couple years ago, but I don't have many particular memories other than when I worked at Chapman Crafted serving. There are the jokes and the memes for what they call haze boys, those coming in looking for hazies. But I do love the fact that they aren't as bitter. I do love a bitter West Coast IPA, but it's made IPA a little more approachable. So I think some of my memories might come from these kinds of conversations. And hazy actually got my wife a little bit more involved into IPAs, but she would still taste the bitterness on the back end of this and probably still going, too bitter. She does not like the bitterness. And that's what I say. But memories would be serving and talking about hazies and being something new. So, what I like to do, usually the beer is what drives my piece. If you take my class normally, this first step is meant to get you to think experientially, think descriptively. Whether any of these notes or any of this experience truly makes it into your piece formally, it may be a subconscious leader, a subconscious influencer. But everyone's first piece when they do it usually ends up being kind of like a vision board. It's got hobbies, it's got things you like to do, things you want to do. That's what usually ends up coming of it. Some people might go really, really abstract and they do things like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it comes out dope. Because they probably did, they just never had the opportunity to do it. Now, the point of this experience tonight and doing this live is to kind of give you a little bit of that mood, get you a little bit into that, but then be able to do it with things you have from at home. And so I'm going to try to get this beer to fit into my piece. I did the last two. I'm going to try to do not so much on the nose, although when I first started thinking about this, with the ripe mango and Aries, I don't know much about the sign, but about at least the god of war, I first thought of mango grenades. as stupid as that sounds, but that would be a little too on the nose. But I'm gonna draw a little mango grenade, a little shading on here, and then like a little beep, little pin mango grenade. But I'm gonna try to pull it out and make it a little bit more abstract. And so if you looked at it, you would have no idea that it had anything to do with the beer. That might be more what I'm trying to do. And looking at this new can design, I like the colors on here, especially when I think, at least the reference of Ares being the god of war. I think of lots of reds, lots of dark blacks. I don't have paints. I do have them, but I'm trying to make this as approachable as possible. So if you have paints at home, cool. If you got thread at home, cool. I'm working pretty much with a couple magazines. I pulled some freshies from last week that may have some more provocative imagery, a Wired, and then a couple Esquires, not to be confused. I still have an Oprah magazine, AAA. I have an Ola magazine, and then I have a bunch of ads. These are all just junk mail ads that I picked out a couple weeks ago and still going through them. Oh shit! I'll get those if I need it. And I have this book, Beer Awesomeness, that has a bunch of party games and beer games. Like, I realize I'm never gonna really do this because I don't like to waste beers. So I might use some of that. I have some scraps from the last week. So I think I'm actually gonna go with something that's gonna be a little bit more chaotic, almost on that war tip. And if any of you are Aries out there, if you want to toss in anything on live that might be a characteristic of Aries, I'd look it up, but my phone's up there, so I'm not going to, and I don't want to bore you with that. But I'm going to go and start looking through some of this stuff. So normally our class, the progression it goes is we start describing our beer. We go through that experience, a little bit of the rhyme and reason that came to be with this. I'm not going to go too far into that with this experience, but that's normally what we end up doing, and I tie that in towards the end. Once we write those things down, then we look at some artwork. I've been posting and sharing a lot of artists I follow that sometimes are featured in my normal class that focus on collage or things that are related to that type of medium. So collage, why I'm having this is it makes it the most approachable. If you don't have paints at home or you're not comfortable painting, you don't have a bunch of colored pencils and markers and you're not comfortable with drawing, you can cut and tear and paste up anything. I got snack boxes. This is what this thing is right here. So I have a bunch of snack boxes. These are scraps in here from, there's Bodie Leaf. I still have some stuff in here. I have muffins, little bites. So I have cardboard I can use and colors I can use. And if you don't have glue, who cares? You can use a bunch of tape. I got different types of tape, and I've been using staplers a lot. I got a couple markers I pulled out. I got scissors. I pulled my palette knife out because I was gluing on those googly eyes, and I have fat fingers, and the little tiny one doesn't work very well. But that's basically what I'm working with, and so collage makes it the easiest approachable way for anyone to make something dope. So I'm going to look through some of these things and see. I like the color. I think I'm going to go with a little bit of this war-ish theme. Just being Aries. It might make it full of stuff, and I might have some of the color of the beer and some of the colors of the mango to contrast, some of those yellows, sort of similar to this Wheat Thins box, or some of these I might be able to pull out. But that's what I'm going to start looking through right now, because we look at some artwork. I've posted Austin Cleon, Zella Art Collage, Daily Splice, so things you might be able to look up even if you're on your phone, or look up on if you're on an iPad nearby. You can look up and get some inspiration. But the other point of this evening is I'm going to get you in the mood a little bit. You can follow along, you can do your own thing, or you can just watch, gather some information. But the bigger point is not to finish tonight. Normally we're on a time constraint and everyone feels they need to finish. It's hard to sell, hey, come not finish a painting with me. But sometimes that happens. That's real life. But now you got time. I'll be live next Wednesday. I took a couple times every other night and worked a little bit more on each of those collages from before. And now I'm on to the next one. So do it on your own time as you want. DM me if you got any questions or issues. And now I'm going to take the rest of the time putting some of these pieces together. Essentially, I'm going to look at the Wired magazine. Because even though this looks like it's caviar and a drumstick, it looks like a, I don't know, almost looks like something of war, like it was an explosion or something. I kind of dig that. But I know it's there. I'm going to look through and see if there's anything. So what I'm going to be building is going to be more so, maybe not a collage per se of images, but a collage is going to be different shapes, different strips, maybe almost mosaic together that ends up setting a mood, not necessarily any particular imagery that I'm trying. That's not the story. I'm not telling it through imagery. I'm telling it through shapes and lines and colors. That's where I think I'm going with this. That's what the beer kind of says to me. That's what it tastes like, the contrary to what I know of Aries being the god of war, not the zodiac. And then celebrating two musical legends, icons dying. It's not a dope time, but I think it might be kind of cool to put some of that emotion into here. So here we go. Forgive me if I'm just looking at this. If you're jumping on right now, I don't know if anyone else new's coming on. If you're jumping on right now, oh, we got some black. I think I'm just going to take this for the black sheets. If you're just jumping on right now, I'm taking some colors. Ooh, one of my fave colors. I love that, like, that berry magenta color. I'm taking that too. To make a change. I like this red. There might be some words in this one. Okay, there's a lot of black I know I can come back to. A little bit of that yellow I was looking for. Kind of like these little bugs. I'm going with the war theme. This is almost like soldiers. You guys see this? It's got some bugs. Almost like could be army. To make a change. Oh yeah, and that can be an army too. Make a change. Almost got two armies. There's an army, and then I might be able to use. You see that? Use that. I'm gonna show this camera now. By the way, I'm filming on another camera that'll go on my YouTube channel. It's been a bitch trying to salvage the live. So once this is over, I'll share it to my stories for 24 hours. I'll try to save it, but I haven't been successful. But even going onto YouTube, it's been an issue trying to get it onto IGTV. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or what. But I might do, I started a YouTube channel. If you basically search on YouTube for Not Your Average Quarantine Night, you'll see I haven't been able to do much more with it. But this format's now actually going to be in landscape, so it's not like you're going to open your screen and only see a portrait mode. So now I'm going to wave to this camera. Hi! But it's not set up perfectly because sometimes my eyes are out of the way. I'm looking for reds, yellows, dark reds. Ooh, some of that. That's kind of gnarly. This says Eternal Flames, California Burning. I don't want to celebrate the fires, but Eternal Flames might be something kind of cool with the two musicians. Their music, their sound, their lyrics, their influence, their everything is going to live on eternally. So I kind of dig that. That might work. And right now, this is still looking a little bit like that. Look at the can details. You see that? I think I got some stuff to be able to get going. Pied Piper. I think I got some colors for sure. Ooh, this is kind of super cool. This is one of the rovers. Let me see that. I think having that on the the red planet. Oh, that's dope. I gotta get that on there. Alright, I'm gonna try go from here. Set that aside. I'm gonna work directly on my piece. Let me move my beer out of the way. I know it's important, but that way you guys can see this, and I'll try to hold it up. Man, so my googly eye. Tossed my old piece down, and the googly eyes fell off. The beautiful thing about if you're working with materials you're just finding in your home, most of this shit's gonna go in the trash can anyway. So if you don't like your piece, not a problem. You can still throw it away. It was trash prior, it's trash now. The other point that I'm trying to do with this is not to make like these gorgeous pieces of work. Those take a lot more time than just a week, a few hours, or even in an evening. It's to get you to go through this creative process. It's dope because you took trash and made it something. But now, I don't think I'm gonna hang those up. I might feature them somewhere in my garagio, but that's not necessarily the point. So if it rips or something like that, no big, then trash it, because it was trash to begin with. So I'm gonna start tearing and cutting some of these things out and try to get that. I was gonna do not much imagery, but that's a hard image to pass up. I don't know. So we'll see. I wanted it to be more so. Yeah. See, even this image. Damn, dude. You see that? The Eternal Flames image. I almost wanted to do mostly shapes and stuff like that. Wired has a lot of that already covered. They have a lot of different shapes going on, so I might still be able to pull that out. But if it switches up, it switches up. Who knows, man? I'm kind of digging this. So I'm at a junction. I can do one of two things. I can let the evening take me, and I found these images I think are fucking rad that still might work with my theme and work with the beer I'm drinking, work with the music we're listening to, and tie those things together. Or I can take the challenge road and still try to stick to making it more abstract looking and abstract in meaning. I think if you still looked at this, you may not necessarily know it came from drinking this beer that was called Aries and where my weird mind went to, or that it was around the time of Bill Withers and John Prine. But you might know that there's some sort of darker force there. So I don't know. Anybody? Ray, what up, dude? Let it take you. All right. Thanks, Ray. I'm doing that. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these images. I think that they're powerful. And I think I have my armies over here that I might be able to do too. So now it might get a little bit boring. I might just dance and groove. I might talk. Ray, I don't know when you jumped on, but if anyone else is jumping on right now, I'm basically basing this off of Aries, the new Zodiac Hazy from Chapman Crafted. I'm trying to get this in both cameras. And it basically, for me, tasting and smelling like ripe mango, a little bitter on the back. But I'm gonna go with a little bit of the Aries God of War and a little bit of the red can design is where that's kind of leading, and a little bit of a sadness, but an eternal love and flame for the two musical icons we just lost. So that's where this is gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out. I have this background. This is just a super awesome image, but I'm gonna cut out the rover and Mars. I think there's something to be said with it. Could be almost like war-like. This is a weird fucking time, and I don't necessarily want to draw on any negative stuff, but we are fighting right now in reality with something that is shaking the world, and we're fighting with boredom. We're fighting with challenging and changing our methods of how we do things. And I don't want to say fighting in a negative way per se. I want to say it. I think it's positive. If you're looking at any bright side, there is a ton of positive changes coming out of this. I know people might be home losing their jobs, but maybe some new methods, new preparations are coming out of this. I don't know if that's a silver lining for everybody, but if there was one, that's possible. I'm getting more family time. My day job, I was fortunate enough to be able to work from home, which is why my YouTube channel isn't pristine right now. But if I'm fortunate enough to have that, homeschooling my 5-year-old daughter, co-homeschooling. It's mostly my wife who also is a teacher, but she's a high school English teacher, so 5-year-old TK is not her forte. I think it's not forte, fort. So we're having a good time with that. I'm an extrovert, she's an introvert, so we're also having a fun time with that. Making sure that I'm not driving her nuts, playing music loud. I had LCD sound system on yesterday, I believe. And she's like, yeah, I can't take this anymore. It's just a little too repetitive. I played them last week also, but they've been on my mind lately. The song All My Friends. It's beautifully poignant right now. If you guys wanted to take a listen. But right now, I got a couple Bill Withers albums, a couple John Prine albums, R.I.P. to those two legends. And I have Duran Jones and Delta Spirits that are both kind of now parallels. Delta Spirit hasn't produced an album in a while, but they were supposed to do a 2020 tour. It says we're still alive or we're not dead yet or something like that. Don't know how that's looking right now, but when I first heard Delta Spirit, it almost reminded me a lot of John Prine. So that's what's going on right now. Speaking of Prine, is a song of his. I'm cutting out this Rover. Sorry if it's just taking a little bit longer than I expect. I'm going to get it just kind of close, actually, and then play around with it, and I'll fine line it later. Alright, so I've basically cut out this Rover. Boom. I did like the gray background, but I didn't want to use the whole thing. I didn't want it to be, I need pieces. So I also love this piece right here, the Eternal Flames, and kind of the craziness going on. It's a sign of the time right now. I think I'm going to have this in the background. Looks like that actually might fit nicely back here. Almost something like this. See how that's looking? I might be able to pull something else that finishes this edge or pull something up front. I might turn the red sideways. There's got a little bit of a cloud. I'm going to try to cut around some of that cloud. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to cut and then rip. That's what I'm going to do. Cut along the horizon, but use the rip as the outside of the kind of fire cloud. It's almost like a battle scene, essentially, is what I'm kind of depicting. I'm still gonna toss a little bit of those, a little bit of the abstract shapes, the original challenge I wanted to do. I'm still gonna do that, I think. If you're jumping on right now, by the way, I'm describing Aries from Chapman Crafted. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. And Aries first, maybe I'm not a big zodiac sign individual, but Aries being the god of war and this reddish the new red design, a red coloring, is kind of fueling my piece. Instead of a war zone, it's kind of what's going on in the world, weirdly enough. Maybe have a light in the tunnel. And it also is to represent two music legends that just passed away. That one's on right now, John Prine. and a couple others that are kind of nowish parallels in my mind. So I'm gonna rip this out, kind of almost like not mushroom cloudish, but almost. That's what I'm gonna try to do. Yeah, something like that. I left the tears. It almost gives me the feel that it's a cloud. Like it's smoke. Don't know if it does that for you. Boom, boom. Do I want that off the edge? Yeah, maybe I do. Ooh, I'm gonna cut this. I gotta cut the white off the edge. I don't like that. But I might be able to use that for my shapes, some abstract, more shapes. So I originally thought in the abstract with shapes and colors, because it is a little bit of a weird time right now. Want to give it as an example to those of you guys at home, but yeah, here we go. But also just to be able to give like that. Might pull this down. Maybe this comes in front. Oh yeah, I might do that. So I like this off in the distance. I like this being off in the distance in the background like this. How, because it's so far away perspective-wise, you see that? How far back this is, like in the background. But I don't like how these are on the same, almost the same plane unless I find something that finishes this. But check this out. If I were to pull the Mars rover in the behind, while it reads differently, which I'm okay with. I don't mind that. It's a little kind of funky. But if I were to pull this tire out, cut the tire out and have the tire jump on top of this, and then I might be able to even finish my own horizon. Yeah, I think I dig that. This is the beautiful thing about collage is you pull pieces together and you can fit them and see how they work. I didn't even look at trying to do this portrait and see what that would look like. If it were to be layered like this, what if it was like that? What if it was layered this way? I don't know. That's freaking dope too. You see that? I didn't even try that. So I'm still playing around with it a little bit. Ooh, that is kind of freaking sick. You know what? Shit, I got it. I think I'm going to do it portrait, but I'm going to get something. I'm going to get one of these yellows. Or see, I wanted to have almost like armies of people. Here's the yellow. I also like these bugs too that are also kind of yellowish beigeish. It has some of the colors I'm looking for. So I might do something like that and do that actually in between these two and build this up as like a perspective, like almost like looking out and using the portrait mode to be able to look, the portrait orientation to look further down. Yeah, I kind of dig that. Ray, looks like you're digging that. Thumbs ups. Yeah, booyah. I'm on the roll now. All right, Sally. I'm going to save the Eternal Flames and some of this coloring too. So I'm going to cut that out right now before I forget. And remember, it's not meant to be done tonight. I don't even know if you're working at home, you know, following along. But I want you to make your own thing. I'm taking you through a process because that's what I want you to go through. I don't want you to make my shit. That's pointless. Make your own shit. Play around with it. And see what comes of it. Alright, I got the Eternal Flames cut out. So I'm going to save that up here. Boom. I'm a little thirsty. Yeah, I like this yellow. Let's cut this out real quick. Just want to see what that yellow looks like if it's popping behind there. Yeah, look at that. Is that yellow pop? Yeah, buddy. I dig it. Hey, Brittany. How you doing? Jumping on. I'm drinking Aries Hazy IPA Zodiac Series. It's the first of their second go around through the calendar year. I'm gonna going off of Aries, the god of war. I don't even know if I'm right with that, but I might save those for later. I do like the yellow here. But see, it's got a planet. It's got a bunch of people. I see the Olympics and the cheese grater thing. I don't know when was this, but yeah, I think of having the planet, the background. Fuck, that's dope. All right, there's some major symbolism going on in this piece now. Sing it, Bill. No, I need to cut that out. Well, that's not quite wide enough. Ooh, I guess it is. What if it's space? What if the planet is over here? Planet's turned on its side. What? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's alright, I'm at it. I'm doing it. I can find something else to cover the cheese grater. I'm gonna pull that down. Oh yeah, I do have these bugs. Maybe this goes on this side, and the bugs are two armies, and then the bugs are on this side. Up the side. Ooh. This is what we're looking at right now. You see that? By the way, I'm showing my other camera. That's going to be going on to YouTube channel. If you search Not Your Average Quarantine Night, you'll see it pop up. And looking at that, that's at 45 minutes. So it looks like we got 15 minutes left. I'm going to keep plugging away. Live's going to end. I'll say bye and sign off. I just do want to remind everyone that's on that a big part of this... Oh, Cindy, hi. The big part of this is be able to make dope shit, but you can do it at home. Like, you don't... It's just to get you in the mood, show you what you can do. Again, I don't want you to make my piece, just as my normal classes. I want you to do you, boo. So, grab whatever shit you got if you don't have it already. If you're able to get your hands on some beer. A lot of places are delivering if you're in the Orange County area. The places I normally do classes at all have delivery, with the exception of Taps. I don't think that they're open at the moment. But... closest to where I live, out in Anaheim Hills, brewery, they're delivering. They just expanded their area. Asylum is delivering. Chapman Craft is delivering. All of them are free delivery, with like a certain minimum purchase. The workers need it. The small business need it. I haven't been able to get all the way out to Gunwale. That's in Costa Mesa. Their Orange location is not delivering. but Costa Mesa is. It's just not getting out to me. So I got to get out over there to get support to them. I plan on doing that this weekend. I still have enough beer to get me through. And then Left Coast in Irvine, I was out there yesterday, picked up a family meal, picked up a couple crowlers and a bottle of gin, because they distill as well. It's almost Negroni week soon, or in maybe a month, but or 2 months. But yeah, I'm gonna get some Campari and make some Negronis is what my plan is. But get yourself a beer, and then let this take you. So if it's find what you're looking at. If it's inspired by your beer, cool. But I want you to still write things down. Go through the sensory. Pick out what it looks like, what it smells like, what it tastes like, feels like, any memories that it might evoke. Write those things down. Commit them to memory and see where it takes you. Now, there's other factors that are going on in this weird fucking situation that's happening in the world. Some of that might happen. This is the first piece I'm doing that it seems like some of those are creeping in a little bit more thematically. But I want you to still make what you're doing at home on your own time. This is the opportunity where time is not a constraint. The brewery's not closing tonight, unfortunately, where we're at. I would normally be at Chapman Crafted, and we would start at 7 o'clock. We would be finishing up our talk soon and our first couple initial steps, and we're going to be going over our gather phase with all the materials. I'm literally using ads and magazines and stapler and fucking tape, and that's it. Yes, I have access to paintbrushes and paints. I have a piece that I've been working on next to me. I have spray paint. I have all kinds of stuff, but I don't want to be showing you what you can do with things that you don't have. So I wanted things that maybe you do have. That's kind of the point. So I'm going to go ahead as probably got another 10, maybe 15 so minutes going on. I'm going to keep working through this, but I'm going to say cheers right now, and if you happen to sign off. And I'll do one more sign off at the end. But stay safe. Stay home if you can. Love you all. I appreciate you guys logging on. I'll send this live to my stories for 24 hours for your reference, and I have this other camera that'll be going on the YouTube channel that you'll be able to find it and reference it again if you want. And I'll jump on again 7 o'clock next Wednesday. Not your average quarantine night. Cheersies, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna cut out these bugs. I'm actually gonna put a border. I'm gonna keep a little bit of a banding around it, or a stroke in the graphic design world, just so I have a little bit of lighter color separation between the images and the background it's gonna go onto. Like that. That's what I'm doing. See a little stroke, a little bit. Because I'm not using paint, I'm not able to add that stuff in the background. I either have to find some other image to tear out or use an image that has something light colored in the background. But last week I was stapling some of the stuff down as I went. It could be okay is to hold it in place as you're working through stuff, but it still is best just to kind of keep everything loose so you can move it around and manipulate it, because by keep moving it different, I started this way and then realized that it would look dope this way. Excuse me. So I did that, and that changed the whole game. So keeping things loose and be able to move it around, that's kind of the beautiful thing about collage. And I say it in my classes all the time. People get inspiration by talking to people and looking at shit. So, me at least being able to talk out loud and talk some of the things. Cheers, Amanda. Hi. I don't know if you're logging out right now, but cheersies, thank you. And good to see you yesterday, Left Coast. I was really digging your brisket sliders. What was I at? Being able to move things around. I say people get inspiration by talking to people and looking at shit. And so being able to talk is a big part of what this class is. I designed it to be social. Not having that element is kind of tough. So if you do want to if you want to DM me, or I think you can chat through Instagram too, like a FaceTime kind of chat through Instagram. Hit me up, talk. I'm glad to talk ideas out. I'm good at talking ideas. So I'm cutting this out, but basically the other aspect of that is if you can't chat, move shit around, move it all around as much as you can, because who knows what's going to come of that. So keep it loose, play it around, and see how it looks. Homie Chris, she commented on the piece last week how it was amazing how everything's kind of fitting together, but a big part of that is because I'm able to move it, or you're able to move it around and see how it fits. Oh, okay, cool. I can tear it here, it kind of make it work here, and that's kind of the beautiful thing. I do have a knack. I have what they call spatial intelligence, I guess. So that might be a part of it, but I'm able to kind of visualize that pretty well and see how things kind of fit together, Tetris style. That's a skill. I think it can be developed just the same, but yeah, keep it loose. That way you can move things around and play with it. That's the beautiful thing about collage, seriously. I think I might repurpose this gray background that was from the Mars rover. I'm gonna repurpose that up in this corner here. So here's what we're looking at right now, by the way. So I oriented it this way. I loved the Mars rover, and then this like crazy fire war zone from the fires from California. I love this Earth with a bunch of people, and then I just cut out this these bugs almost like its own army. I'm gonna cover this up. This will be back behind the rover. It's gonna cover that stupid cheese grater. So we're looking at something like this, almost like armies coming together, a group and a group, and then there's the world kind of spewing people, and then alternative understanding, and then this war zone in the back, something like that. I kind of dig how that's going together right now. So I think I'm going to get these down and play around with this, and then I'm going to see where finishing touches. We're looking at 52 minutes right now. It's, yeah, 7:53. Talking too much. So about 7 minutes. I'm just going to keep playing around with this a little bit, but I'll be posting my progress as progress happens. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Live again. This stream will be put to my stories for 24 hours. Hit me up if you got ideas or want to talk through ideas. And check out our new YouTube channel. Google or search in YouTube, Not Your Average Quarantine Night. And this video on this other camera over here will be posting to that later tonight, tomorrow, something like that. But I'll post all that information. Keep following, keep sharing, and keep making dope shit in a not so dope time. Cheers, guys. Thanks for Chapman Crafted for the delicious beer, the free delivery. Gonna see my homeboy Brett, Jet Branson, at Jet Branson. Yeah, Brett Jansen. Yeah, that's correct. But yeah, cheers. Cheers, Ray. All right. I think I might be trimming some of these down. You don't have to stay in the confines of your cardboard. You can build it out with other pieces of cardboard, by the way. You can use these and build it out. On my piece 2 weeks ago, here's where the confines of my cardboard went, and I built out more, so I had a contrasting border all the way around. So you can still do that. Nothing is out of the realms of possibilities. So, but I'm looking at this and seeing how it's always a challenge to fit it on the canvas you physically have. So I'm gonna play around and I'm gonna trim more out later on. But I'm just getting the shapes. I'm kind of digging how this is looking right now. I might cut some of these out, get some more dynamics and some of the shape up here. Let this really shine, the fire piece in the back. Yeah. Pull that up. Yeah, like that. Ooh, maybe the smoke. Ooh, yeah. Maybe the smoke might come all the way off the top. Like have it, what if it was like, if I'm able to get it to fit where it's like this. Ooh, check that. Yeah, that might work. Thanks, Amanda. Good times. Thank you. Hope it's not boring as fuck. I might take some of this bug army off too. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Anybody watching Devs, by the way? With Nick Offerman? That shit's... it's trippy. It's the perfect amount of, like, weird mystery. Keeps you wanting more. Yeah, watch Devs. Yeah, I gotta get some of this magenta in here. I might do a bar through here. Yeah, there's some of that color in here too. I might get a bar, some weird connectivity with some of this, almost as it's a journey. Definitely doing that. So I think I'm gonna keep this up there. Yeah, awesome. I think it's about to cut me off. We're about a couple minutes out, so I'm gonna say cheers one more time. Make some dope shit, a not so dope time. Yep, under 2 minutes remaining as the live just told me. I'm gonna try to save this. I'll share it to my stories for 24 hours, and it'll be on the YouTube channel. So thanks for joining in. Tell everybody. Tag me at _craft and arts if you post and make something. Tell your friends. Share the story with them. Hashtag not your average quarantine night, and then my usual not your average paint night, and beer and paint dish. But thanks for joining in. I appreciate it, everybody. Cheers, homies. Oh yeah, and I gotta get my Eternal Flames in there. Up here on a magenta background, maybe? Ooh, maybe a magenta background and a white background. How's that look? Something like that. We'll see. Alright, see you guys next Wednesday, 7 o'clock, same time. Mark your calendars if you want. I'll be posting about it. I'll be posting the progress here. Share your shit. Make dope shit. And stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Love you all. Drink beer, support local, and bye.